Hey guys out there in the Facebook metal world, I'm here with Cranial Impalement. My name is Zach Kennedy. I'm sitting here with Eli over here, and this is Caesar. Guys, I want you to start off by telling me a little bit of the history of the band. We'll get into what kind of music it is here in a second. I want you to tell me though, kind of what inspired you to write music in the first place, where you guys met and got started, what inspired you to work together and stuff like that. Eli, you can go first.
What inspired me to play music was Motley Crue. Motley Crue inspired me to play. But the first death metal band that inspired me to really play was actually Death Obituary. Those are the two bands that got me going. And I met him in 2004. I was at a brother-in-law's house drinking, getting really tore up, and she was on the phone with him because they were friends online. And I said, well, tell him to come over. Like he was just down the street or something.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, because I was doing cross promotion with her because she was doing West Coast stuff, I was doing East Coast stuff, and he was like, well, I'll send you my stuff, you send me your stuff. And then they were on the phone. He's like, I was playing drums at the time pretty solidly. This is way before Cranial Impalement. This is the pre-Cranial Impalement days. And he was like, come on over. And I was like, well, I've never been to California. Packed up my shit, moved to California. Got a drum set. Started jamming for a while. Then I moved to Georgia. 2005, we got a little house. I was still playing drums. He's playing guitar. We had a couple different bass players and whatnot come and go. But we were still trying. It was just me and him. And then, I forgot what year it was, we played a show.
That was 2009.
We still weren't Cranial Impalement. We were another band.
Yeah.
And we played a show. It was me, him, and a singer. And it was okay. It was a stepping stone.
Yeah, that was
learning experience.
I think that show kind of drove him to go, well, I'm going to play bass because I don't think I can play the drums as fast as I want.
Yeah, I wasn't where I wanted to be. It wasn't going to push the music where it needed to go. So I said, I'll play the bass because it's a better instrument for me to play on. We'll find a better drummer. Why should I hold anything back? Because my skills aren't, where they need to be for what we hear and want to do.
Okay. So as for writing death metal, you were talking about your skills being different. What have you been able to bring, on the bass? Are you writing riffs? Are you following? Are you what kind of writing are you doing?
When I was playing the bass, when we became Cranial Impalement, I was writing the bass lines totally and adding some riffs here and there with the bass. It wasn't just following the guitars, the guitar would do one thing, the bass would do the bass business, obviously. Mm. Then we did that for a while. We had gotten a drummer and a singer. That's another whole part of the story. We'll get into that, I guess. And that was, what year was that?
2010.
2010. We had a full lineup. We were actually Cranial Impalement.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2011. Sorry.
And 2011. We were finally Cranial Impalement. We got a local drummer named Nick Johnson. He actually said he wanted to join the band. He heard about us, was interested, so he came along. He brought his buddy, who was a singer, Daniel Elrod. They'd been in a band together before called Wide Eye Days. And they were like, well, we like this death metal stuff. Let's get together and, put a band together. We're like, okay, let's do it. So I was playing bass. He played guitar, and they did their things. We jammed at Nick's for a while. We started coalescing, getting things together. It sounded really good. So we went from there. We wrote a bunch of songs together and worked on them. And eventually, we switched up some things. We switched up some things.
Yeah, and a lot of the riffs that I've written with the other band, we just kind of made them more brutal and more faster, and actually it's more of a groove to them, actually. But it was a great experience doing all this, getting together, because that's like really the very first time I did a full-fledged band where we were like.
So you were feeling the energy, and it was good.
It was actually very good energy in there, and it was fantastic.
So what were you putting into that energy? What was coming from you that you wanted your fans to hear?
I wanted them to hear what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear some more West Coast style death metal, and because I didn't hear it out here a lot. There wasn't a lot of death metal really here in Georgia, Tennessee area. There was Codehanger Abortion, and that was about it. And death metal was needed out here, and I thought we were the band to do it. And I think we did a pretty good job.
Well, yeah, I mean, I listened to I listened to what you've released, and it's great. Yeah, it's right there. The YouTube, do you want to talk a little bit about what you've released and what you've recorded so far?
Okay, there's two different versions. I'm going to make this clear right now. YouTube is the pre-production studio, professional studio, leak version that got out, which actually has me playing bass on it, not Justin Bluford. Eli's playing guitar, and Nick is drumming, and Dan is doing vocals. On the actual release version, the split with necrotic engorgement, which I'm holding in my hand here, yeah, it's necrotic engorgement, and this cranial impalement, worldwide terrorism, it's a different lineup. We got our bass player. I went and recruited a bass player named Justin Bluford because Eli wanted to do 2 guitar attack. So we felt it'd be better with 2 guitar to be heavier because it was like, you know, bass on one side stage, guitar on one side stage, not getting that full thing. So we did that. We got Justin, who was a very good bass player at the time. Played his fingers. You know, just craziness. So we got him, so it became a 5-man band, which is great for death metal because you get that full heavy sounds in your face just pounding away at you. And you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. So we got that together, and then we went to the studio, and we recorded everything. And then we had some issues with the studio, so we had to have a friend help us re-record the record to produce this record here, Split, which is a different production, which we're truly not happy with, to be honest, sorry. And everybody who was involved, sorry, but we're not happy with it. And on that record, it's me playing guitar, Caesar, Eli playing guitar, Justin Bluford playing bass, Nick Johnson playing drums, and Dan Elrod doing vocals. And that was the definitive 5-man lineup with Cranial Impalement for that era. That was the lineup that played all the live shows and basically created kind of the level of brutality that we bring to the people.
You have any input on the record and the recording process?
I really don't like the recording of the album, but it's us. That's all I can say. It's us.
I mean, it is you. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because I listen to it. I like it. I love the riffs. I think some of the riffs are just groovy as hell. I mean, it's something that I sat and listened to 3 times in a row. Just from the first time I listened to it on YouTube, I literally listened to it 3 times in a row, and just, I mean, it may be short, but it's damn good.
Yeah, that was one of the.
And I don't care about the way it sounds, even if it wasn't sounding how you wanted it to sound. I mean, it's you guys playing.
Yeah.
It's your ideas, and I felt it and understood it.
That's cool.
Yep.
So we were talking about, you know, you playing, you know, bass and then guitar and whatnot. What kind of setup do you guys have?
I'll let him go first.
I have a Crate Shockwave head with a Mesa Boogie cab with Celestial, not Celestial.
I like it.
Eminence, and I just run through a noise suppressor, and that's it.
Just out of curiosity, what got you on Mesa Boogie? Was it just something you found, or just did somebody turn you on to that, or?
It was something I found back in Cali. I've had that cab.
Something you fell in love with?
Since 2001, I've had that cab, so it's been my
That's pretty
go-to.
awesome. That's pretty awesome. And you?
Yeah, I play a Jackson DK2M guitar, it's like Strat style body. Crate GX130C solid state amp. Rivera cab that I've had since '98. It's just stock Rivera cab. They don't make it anymore. It's awesome. I love it.
What kind of?
And just a noise suppressor.
Is it? Do you guys have the sound, equipment-wise? Do you have the sound that you're going for, or are there goals that you have in the future for changing your sound up?
Not really. For me, no. I'm just gonna stick with what I have because I love the way it sounds. Because it's a very good live sound that we have, and I think what we use right now is fantastic.
Yeah, it comes across well live because the sounds blend well, both amps, and definitely have live is where you want to see Cranial Impalement. I mean, record's cool and all, but live is where you get the full experience, and it's like I said earlier, just
In your face.
Yeah, I like it. So we've talked about the recordings, and we've talked about the history and the gear. what's in the future? What are you doing in 2016 that you maybe wanted to do in 2015 or didn't have the chance to do, but now you do, or whatever?
We're in a writing process right now. We're basically writing guitar riffs right now until we can get that elusive drummer in there to back us up. And we have a singer tied up right now. I mean, he's committed, but he's going to be moving out into Tennessee eventually, and that's basically what we're waiting for right there.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, our singer's from Florida, and his name is Daniel Pena. He used to play in a band called Extremely Rotten, do guitar and backing vocals. I forgot how we met him exactly, but he just, I don't remember how I met him, somehow online, but he just decided that he heard stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I'll sing it for you guys. I was like, all right, cool. He came up here last year, I think it was.
Yeah, last year.
Hung out with us for a couple days and stuff.
And
And
he's like,
everything.
oh, I want to be in this. I
Yeah.
want to be in the band.
Everybody clicked, everything was cool, and yeah, we're just waiting for him to move to Tennessee, and then we're just got to find that elusive drummer.
Yeah.
So do you have any set dates for anything, or do you have any goals for set dates, or anything that you want to
I wish
you try for?
maybe try to actually write a record before the end of the year, be it a real drummer or program drums. So we have to go that avenue, but I mean, we really want a real drummer because obviously we're used to that 5-man live band lineup. Now we're not used to.
The good thing I like about even if you have to go the route of programming drums, which I've had to go many times myself, is that you still get to be as creative as you want with it. If you have the right programs, you can put what you want where it needs to be and still have something sounding good on an album. Have you ever tried to use it live, or
Yeah,
have you used it live?
We did, and that was a farce. It was a fucking mess.
I understand.
It did not do us justice, and we're glad we only did it once. Never again live.
That's understandable.
We have, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
You have 4 people, actual live people in a drum machine does not work well. If you have 1 dude in a drum machine or 2 dudes in a drum machine, it works good because the levels and everything. But when you have 4 people, 3 live instruments and a singer, it does not work well.
Yeah, I understand that. So let's talk about a little bit to end up here. Let's just have a little fun, I guess, and let's talk about what inspires you guys, and what bands and music inspire you the most. You can name any of them. Any specific guitarists or bass players or drummers or.
Well, I love Discord from San Diego. Those guys are just brutal as hell, and they got groove, and they just love it. I just love it to death. And I love Old Pathology and Dying Fetus. And obviously Cannibal Corpse and Deicide, those are like one of my favorite bands. And let's not forget Misery Index.
I guess I'd have to say Old Morbid Angel, Old Deicide, of course Discord too, Severed Savior, Deeds of Flesh. New ones, Defeated Sanity, well not that new, but they're new to me. Stuff like, some more technical stuff like Spawn Possession, some of the Decrepit Birth material, of course Death,
Yeah.
Obituary, Old Camel Corpse. I can go on for days.
Right.
That's all inspires me as like a guitar player, I'd say, because I'm actually a guitar player more than anything else. So it was kind of like, oh, I learned how to play this, but really I'm a guitar player. I've been playing guitar for, God, so long now.
Infinity. Seems
Right.
like infinity.
I had to ask about what inspired you, because when I was listening to it, there are a lot of grooves in the album that I just feel like I don't know. There were definitely some kick-ass grooves that I feel like would punch well live, and they would it would definitely be interesting to see live.
Oh yeah, it's live is like where we're good at live.
So where your heart is.
Yeah, live.
Speaking of live, if you look online, there's actually some videos of Cranial live, the classic lineup. And those are like, you watch them, you're just like, holy shit. Because we watch them still, we're like, holy shit, those are awesome. Because that's where we were. We were a live band. We were built to be a live band. We practiced live. We wrote together live. Everything was live. It was meant to be a live experience, not a, well, I'm going to write this year, right now. It doesn't work that way. It's a live band.
So you are the kind of band that just likes to get in there and jam it out, record it, and go play it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works.
start listening to Cranial?
I actually had randomly passed by him online, one of those random YouTube links on the side. Had come across it, it had stuck a little bit, I recognized the name, and then got a little more into him after I ended up meeting these guys out at Full Terror Assault last year at a Cave in Rock, Illinois.
Full drunken assault.
Full drunken assault, yeah, that's a little more accurate. And it was a good time. They were great guys. I mean, we hit it off right away. We liked the same kind of music. Got talking to them and just really kind of wanted to see them take off with it, because the more I listen to the band, the more I do see that potential that has been talked about of, you know, doing something bigger than what's already on a recording. Because I'm with you, I like the recording. I understand where they're coming from with not liking the recording, and, you know, that's here or there, obviously. Right. But it's a good stepping stone, and it's a good, like, little precursor in my eyes to what could be with the next step.
Right.
And that's a really cool thing to see.
Right. What is it that you get out, other than just the pure energy of, you know, when you hear this kind of music, what is it that you get out of listening to bands like Cranial Impalement and other death metal bands in the area, or even more famous death metal bands?
Well, as far as locally goes, I mean, you got to look at it this way. We're in God's country. I mean, the vast majority of people see or hear anything remotely involving death metal and immediately, you know, run for the hills.
Frowned upon.
Yeah.
I still hear these old Bible thumpers talking bad about it every now and then.
Oh yeah. See, you need bands like Cranial. You need bands like they brought up Coathanger
to come crashing through here.
You need them to kick in the door in these small little Jesus towns. To just, you know.
It's the truth, though.
There's always going to be that smaller demographic anywhere you go, where there's going to be those kids, or even adults for that matter, who are like, hell yeah, death metal. And they want something more extreme, they want something fast, they want something hard, they want something to get that aggression out. And you're not going to get that going to church, you know. As far as death metal is concerned, that's what it is. Death metal has always, in my eyes, been just a giant middle finger to just about everybody else. It's like, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to be as ruthless as possible with the music that we write, and, you know, we're just going to keep progressing step by step higher. More brutal, more technical in some aspects. I mean, talking about like Spawn of Possession and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, death metal is something that the metal community often forgets about in today's day and age, especially with these, you know, bands that claim to be metal and they're wearing their sisters' wardrobes out on stage. It's like the 80s all over again. And I like the fact that the Cranial guys are not satisfied in a way with their music, because they're consistently trying to improve. They're consistently trying to do what they already do well that much better. And that's what the metal community needs, are bands like that.
That's what creates real success as well. And we've seen it in the past with many bands who said, we are not satisfied with this, we can do something crazier and better. I mean, it's proved in the past that creates success, and that's what I see them trying to do.
Those are the great ones. I mean, there was never a great band in any aspect that got to where they were by being completely okay with where they were at one point, just sticking with it. Those bands that you hear about, you know, he's naming off bands: Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Death, Morbid Angel, to an extent, I guess, except for the new stuff. But we're going to pretend that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
These bands consistently took what they had and sat there and said, you know, what can we do to make this better? I mean, hell, Death themselves innovated at least 3 different subgenres of death metal itself. And that's, you know, just a couple guys. When you think about that, it's like, who knows what a band with that kind of drive, even if they're local,
Right.
who knows what a band with that kind of drive, those aspirations can do. They could be the next one, you never know.
Right.
So it's always awesome to see artists of any genre, but specifically death metal, trying to make it better.
And with those bands out, with bands like Cranial Impalement out on YouTube, I guarantee you there's some kid sitting in his room listening to Cranial Impalement saying, I want to be in this kind of band, and these are the guys that are inspiring me. Listen to these grooves, they're badass. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. There's some kid listening to Cranial Impalement right now, somewhere listening to that. And I feel like it's going to change the world of metal around here forever, whether the local mainstream people realize it or not. You guys you're kicking in the door and you're here.
We came out of nowhere and started playing shows. And a lot of people around here just kind of didn't know how to take that. They were like, what? New band kicking everyone's ass. What's going on around here? You know, it wasn't an overnight thing. We had worked hard to get to that point. We had practiced for countless hours, written our music, worked on our craft, worked on our promotion, everything. You know, we had in a short amount of time, as it appeared to everyone else, but I feel like forever for us, had earned the reputation we had. You know, it preceded us. And we had earned that because we worked our asses off to get it. You know, it wasn't just, and we're there. It doesn't work that way. If it works that way, something's wrong. You know, you have to earn it. You have to take those lumps. You have to have road time. You have to be road dogs. You know, you got to learn that stuff. Go out to East Jabip and play a show with only 5 people and still have a good time. Because you know why? Because at the end of the day, those 5 people are going to tell their 5 friends. They're going to tell 5 friends. They might see it on YouTube nowadays with the internet and everything. But holy shit, I like that band. I wish they would come back.
Yeah.
And that's what people remember.
And that's something that's great when, you know, with the power of the internet, there could be some guy in Canada listening to you guys, wanting to get in contact with you, bringing you up there or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that powerful stuff.
Indonesia, man.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I want to touch on with that is important. I think it's important as a musician and I guess a performer because you play on stage. You gotta be cool with your fans. I mean, you can't be a dick because people remember when you're cool with them. Like not giving them something, like, just shake their hand, sign something. You know what I mean? Whatever. Like take time to interact. People really, really value that. You know, and the fans are the reason. You know, bands get places. Bands don't get places on their own. They need the fans. You know, you have to treat the fans as well as you treat yourself.
Right. So, you know, some people think music is just music, but when it comes to the fans, if they're spending their money going to these shows, when they meet these bands, it would mean hell of a lot more to them if, you know, you guys get a chance to sit down and talk with them and stuff like that. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
The fans are awesome out there. Everywhere we've gone has been,
God.
they've
Crazy.
shown nothing but mad respect and just craziness. And
Pits.
you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And we're gonna bring you a new record. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. It's gonna blow. The other one, the hinges right off the door.
Yeah.
We're definitely looking forward to that, guys. It's
Thank you.
it's been good doing this.
Thank you.
It's actually been great talking to y'all. I'm gonna be back here talking to y'all again, hopefully, if y'all want me to. So
Oh yeah, of course.
we'll do it again. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
Nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day.